We are constantly bombarded by situations and feeds on our phone and tons of information that appears to create a lot of anxiety or stress. And there are situations that we're stuck into, maybe at work or with our partner or with our children. And we're facing all these situations with a thinking that approach the situation from a perspective that the problem exists out there. It's the situation, it's the other person. And as long as we operate from that mindset, we keep repeating the same patterns. In my book, Addicted to the Monkey Mind, I describe that we operate from a mindset that leaves us basically at the mercy of a thinking that is based on previous experiences, mostly experiences that we had in our upbringing. As long as we follow this mindset, we are in a state of thinking that we're finding a solution to the stress that we're having. That's the intention of that monkey mind, is to find some solution to this problem that we're experiencing. And yet it keeps perpetuating the same anxiety. Instead of letting this monkey mind hijack your current experience by dominating your thinking with more thoughts that leave you panicky and never feeling like there's respite anywhere, what if we could observe this mind? Imagine that the real issue is not that we have a monkey mind, but that we are not consciously observing this monkey mind. We're not clearly noticing it and putting ourselves in charge of our thinking. We default to the monkey mind and what it's doing. Let's take an example. Imagine that you're at work and your boss walks by and says, "Hey, can you come by my office this afternoon? I'd like to talk with you." And then there's a rush of anxiety. And so you go sit in your office and the monkey mind kicks in. And there are two ways in which the monkey mind operates, and it creates a loop. And the first thing it'll do is try to make sense out of the situation. It'll ask questions like, "Oh, why did my boss ask me to go to their office this afternoon?" And it's search for answers. The monkey mind goes into a lot of thinking about what could possibly be in the mind of the boss, which is not within our control. And then once it reaches a point where it can't solve the problem this way, then it starts putting judgment on ourselves. It starts thinking about possible scenarios that maybe we need to anticipate that the boss is not happy with us, and maybe it's because 2 days ago in the meeting I said something that seemed upsetting to my coworker and I shouldn't have done that. We're constantly searching, when we're under this mindset, for answers to a problem that is not there so far. It doesn't exist. This mindset intention is fantastic. The intention is, I want to make sure that this distress that you're experiencing right now, that we're able to manage it, handle it, and resolve it. And it's using thinking to try to resolve it. The issue is that the feeling in the belly cannot be resolved analytically. It's something that arises from previous experiences. The body remembers, for example, let's say that the person grew up in a family where the parents constantly said things like, "Why can't you behave?" After years of living through that kind of experiences, then it makes sense that when the boss walks by, the monkey mind kicks in. It's been conditioned to operate this way, and it wants to make sure that it manages the situation. Notice that what it's doing is it's already predicting that the situation is the same as the past. But do we know that? We don't know that. And the biggest thing that it does is it actually prevents us from being ourselves in the present moment. Imagine that what the monkey mind is doing when we subscribe to it is that it's hijacking our capacity to be present in the here and now. Meaning, who are we in this present moment. We're someone who have lived a life for many years. We have gone through many struggles. We have been resilient through a lot of them. We have had failures. We've had arguments. We've had success at resolving and repairing some of the issues we've had in our relationships. We've had all sorts of experiences. And that person that is in the here and now is a person that's super well intended. That's a person that deeply cares. Notice that anxiety wouldn't come up if we didn't care. We care about our boss. We care about doing a good job. We care about showing up. We want to do the best. And yet, the monkey mind, the way it approaches the situation is as if we're already in a previous experience that says, oh, it's already doomed. Meaning, what's really happening here, I need to tell you in advance, is that you're going to be told somehow to behave. And it's not logical. It lives in the nervous system. What do we do with this monkey mind? How do we learn to live differently? When we ask that question, we have to be careful because we have the tendency to lean towards using the monkey mind to try to solve the problem that the monkey mind has created. It's a little bit like Einstein said, you can't solve the problem from the same mindset that created it. What the monkey mind doesn't know is that we are capable of handling the feelings that are coming up. And those feelings exist within our emotional body. They are a vibrational experience that we're having. And if we allow ourselves to be present with that experience, not from a perspective of anticipating that things are not going to work out, because notice that that leans towards the future. We're not in the future. We're in the present moment. If we can recognize that there's a signal that happens when we are triggered and when we have this tendency of following this monkey mind, and this trigger exists in the nervous system, and we can pause and breathe through that nervous system and realize that there is anxiety, and that anxiety is familiar. We can pay attention to it. And we can also notice that if we go with that anxiety, meaning the monkey mind creates an initial emotion, which I call sort of like the surface emotion that rise up, because it's already assuming that the current experience is exactly the same as the previous experience. That leaves us is in a nervous system that now believes that there's something to be solved, there's a problem, and it means something about me, and it means something about my boss. And yet, in that moment, if we are able to simply align with this anxiety that exists there, and notice first that it's associated already with the past, and that we breathe into that and notice what would happen. This is about building awareness. What would happen if I follow this mindset? This clear story that tells me that I've done something wrong, or that my boss is going to tell me a bad news of some type. How do I show up in the meeting when I already subscribe to that mindset? Well, I can already tell I'm more likely to be defensive. I'm more likely to be reactive. And I'm not coming from the self that I am today, the adult self that knows how to do their job, the presence that I have about who I am. As we aligned with this emotion, we're no longer following the monkey mind at that point. We just take a pause and notice this anxiety and how it's based on the past, and we breathe through that. This could be a little daunting at first to practice this because we're not used to trusting the experience. Imagine that we suddenly make the monkey mind our best friend, and that our best friend we know has the greatest intention for us. It wants us to succeed. It wants this meeting to go well. But yet its approach is that it's creating a lot of panic and building up a lot of meaning that is not there. That there's no proof of that meaning. It's just reactivating a previous experience from the past. If we can treat it like a friend and notice, oh, you really want me to be anxious right now. You don't want me to miss that this could possibly be exactly like the past. Oh, I get that. Yeah. And that could be pretty scary because no one wants, especially me, no one wants to be told to behave again. And do I have a right to exist here? Oh, I see that. Now notice, aligning is about being in the presence of what this emotion is creating. Meaning, instead of believing that this is what's happening, is we're noticing the feeling in the belly and that it's creating the same emotion that we've experienced so many times growing up. As we align with it, we are now caring for that experience. We're bringing ourselves into connection and we're bringing ourselves into an awareness. And when we do that, we begin to see that there's a self here, that we are in the presence of a very resilient person, which is different than what the monkey mind thinks. The monkey mind hasn't catch up with the fact that we have evolved. We're not caught in the same place that we were when we were 5, 10, or 15 years old. We're an adult today who can actually manage this situation. As we learn to align with this feeling, we then put ourselves in the perspective of the self that's here in the moment. Meaning, think of the fear that you might have about your boss and how perhaps the boss could say something related to there's a job that you did that you could have done better, or there's a coworker that has an issue with you, whatever it is, all these possibilities that the monkey mind has made up. Is it true that you can't handle this situation in this moment? As you notice it, as you breathe into being in alignment with the possibility of this, you can notice that, oh, yeah, I can handle this. I've dealt with a lot of situations in my life, and I can actually be present with this. I can go in this meeting open-minded and know about these possibilities, but I'm not going to let this experience of fear in my belly dictate what is actually going to happen in this meeting. It's a little bit mind-boggling because we have such a tendency to follow this fear that we are infused thinking about it. What I'm talking about here is that we are teaching ourselves to leave space, that we have the thought and there's an emotion, but we're not reacting from that thought. We're actually pausing and we're entering the experience of that emotion. And what that does is it brings us back in connection with ourselves, but not just with the feeling in the belly. It also brings us back in connection with the person that is resilient, the person that has dealt with many difficult situations in the past, the person that is able to handle situation also lives in the present moment. The person that is passionate about their job, that cares about the boss, that cares about their families, that cares about the coworkers. And that person lives here in the moment. Yet, when we are infused thinking, when we keep subscribing to the monkey mind at such a high degree that there's no separation, we confuse it with reality. And that is the real issue. Here's my invitation. This is a practice. To develop an observing mind is about a willingness to be courageous, to actually notice that we can't solve the anxiety that we're experiencing analytically, and we can actually trust that we have what it takes to handle the experience, the feeling of it, which was very daunting when we were younger because we weren't equipped with the experiences that we possess today. If we can just learn to do this one time, this is how awareness and consciousness builds, is that we trust it one time and then it builds on itself. It builds an awareness like, oh, yeah, I get it. I can actually handle this situation. I can handle this emotion. I can notice all the stories that tell me that this looks so familiar. And yet the truth is that I'm going to go into this meeting and I'm going to find out, because I am this resilient person and I have the capacity to handle whatever is going to come my way. And I'm not going to subscribe to putting myself in question before I even show up to this meeting. From that place, you're able to notice the self that's here, the true self, your innate resilience, courage, your amazing capacity to love, and the core values that you possess. That's what you're getting in connection with, that's allowing you to stay in the present moment. Thank you for spending this time with me. This podcast is meant to be more than just information. If there's one thing I've learned over the years, is that we are wired for connection. And if we are to learn the skills of living beyond this monkey mind that can be so overwhelming, it's best to do it together. And for that purpose, we've created groups. We call them pods. And we named them Aviv la Vie, which means live life to the fullest. Come and join us.